infrastructure, the growth will move as much money as we put in infrastructure. As quick as we move on energy, you'll see that that debt ratio will decrease. نحن مشكلتنا إنه for the past 5-6 years we've had the same growth, 1% all over 1.5%. We need to really work very hard in 2019 to increase our growth. At the same time, we work with the IMF and we need to bring down our balance our fiscal 1% every year from 2019 2020 ل 5 سنين. I believe we should bring down the subsidies we pay on energy this next year. At least $600 to $1 billion we need to bring it لأنه نحن we cannot continue paying these $2 billion.
I will now open the Q&A session. If anyone from the audience would like to ask a question, where are the microphones? Let us start here.
Make them easy questions. I'm really tired today.
Your Excellency, we cross fingers so we can see the new government very soon. Cross fingers. Nadim Daher, auditor and board member of ALDIC. ALDIC is the Lebanese Association for the Rights and Information of the Taxpayers. So obviously my question will be on taxes. Last year, here, you committed not to increase taxes further than what has been increased to finance the public servant wages. And at the same time, among said requirements, you should increase the fiscal income of the government. How would you manage to meet both commitments?
If we save the $2 billion on energy, you already made $2 billion. نحن مشكلتنا هو الانرجي. We need to bring down the energy bill that we have from $2 billion to zero. I think in 2019 we'll be able to bring it about 600 million down to, we'll see how much we can bring it down. But already you're making some. We're going to increase the tariffs in energy once we have 24/7. This will bring us some money. And the rolling out of our telecommunication plan that المفروض in 2019 كمان to bring us more money. At the same time, if we really do these reforms, I believe, if we work very, very hard in executing few projects that we have for 2019, if we are able to spend $1 billion on these projects, inshallah, in 2019, I believe that, and we fix our tax collection should increase. If we have a growth, it will increase automatically. ولازم نحن on the collection side, we cannot be at 90% now. We should be at 24-25. But there is a big effort it's being done in the Ministry of Finance to increase this. I'm not going to increase taxes. I don't want to increase taxes, and I will not increase taxes.
Thank you.
Another question.
Prime Minister, today the private sector and the business investors have lost confidence in the politicians and are no longer willing to invest or develop businesses in Lebanon, yet they're mostly looking to divest out of Lebanon because of this lack of trust. Hopefully, if you're forming the government, what are the first actions that you will take in order to gain their trust back?
It's a matter of what we're going to put in the statement, Bayan Wizari. This is what's important. We're going to put all the reforms that we need to do, Bil Bayan Wizari. So everybody's committed on these reforms. As soon as we start the government work, we're going to issue the laws, inshallah, from the government to the parliament, all these reforms. And I think, yes, we do have a credibility, we lost some confidence from the private sector, but what does this private sector want from us? The private sector wants us to reform, to make it easy for the SMEs to do business in Lebanon. And this is my focus, all my focus in the coming 3 months my government, who will pass all these reforms and all the laws that are needed by the SMEs. We have passed already some, the bankruptcy law, يعني كله صار in parliament. You will have we passed the corruption laws, the anti-corruption laws, the whistleblower laws, يعني all these laws that will fight corruption in Lebanon are passed already. We need to further, work on some other laws that for anti-corruption, and I think we will gain this confidence by pushing all the reforms in the beginning. And I really believe, أنا معك يعني in what you said. But if we don't, and that's why I started, if we do not pass these reforms in government and in the parliament, then yes, we have a problem, a continuous problem of confidence. If we pass these laws and reforms بقلب المجلس الوزراء and parliament, I don't think we'll have a problem.
Next question.
Hello. Mr. Prime Minister, I heard you mention energy, World Bank projects, and big companies like Siemens. Back here.
You're the transparent guy behind the camera.
I'm over here.
Yeah, I can see you.
So my focus is actually on wastewater treatment, and I'm interested to know what is your opinion for wastewater. It's very important, it's in the news these days. And a strategy to do with decentralization and leveraging the private sector to pick up where the public sector has left off.
يعني I think نحن بالwaste water مشكلتنا الأساسية in the past إنه we used to get the financing for a waste plant and we don't have the network for it. هلا اللي عملناه بسادر هو إنه each region we got the financing from A to Z for each project. يعني الشبكة مع البرايمري وسكندري وتيرسري plant for waste electric. أنا I believe إنه today عندنا we have المصالح المي اللي هن they are supposed to make us money. Unfortunately في certain regions in Lebanon we need to نعمل تسويات مع المناطق لأنه some people were paying, let's say take for بقاع مثلا بقاع they don't pay for water because they were being built at the time where there is no water. يعني the government was not giving them water, فلازم نعمل هالتسويات نخلص منها. But the essential thing هو إنه today inside we went and found a solution where we funded all regions from A to Z concerning the waste, the water problem. On the second hand, موضوع privatization in these areas, I'm open if people are interested. يعني في عندنا المجلس على الخصخصة who deals with this. If we want to take these to private sector, or private sector is interested in taking one of these projects by themselves, and it's an open, we're open to that. So we're more than willing to have the private sector invest in these areas. Who do you contact? زياد حي. تفضل وقف. وإذا ما راح يجاوب خبرني. أنا بشوف شغلي معي على الواتساب.
George Hade, strategy, and I lead the energy sector, and you've mentioned that. Two questions on the electricity. What is going to be different this time? The solutions have been known for a while, so can you tell us how we're going to finally be able to resolve this electricity question? And in the medium to long term, can you tell us a bit more about the oil and gas? Thank you.
What's different now, I think if you see the exercise that we have been doing with the World Bank for the past year, I think everybody, the problem we had in the past, some political parties were not convinced the private sector should do all of this. Today everybody is convinced the private sector should do this. Everybody wants the private sector to do this. Everybody wants to take off, to make sure the private sector to invest in the sector of energy. I think today also the government has passed the strategy for energy من هون ل 10 years from here to 2030. And I really believe today that we have a much better chance, خاصة we went on Deir Amar on a BOT basis, and we got the price of 2.9 kilowatt per cent, which is one of the lowest in the region. I really believe the BOT PPP projects for energy are there. Anybody is we're more than willing to